focus on, what is the time bomb that we're sitting on. The time bomb that we're sitting on is that we should be able to grow rich before we grow old. We have 50% of our population below the age of 25, which is great. But if we do not have the regulatory environment, the policy environment for each of them to become extremely productive in the next 5 to 10 years, then we'll end up having a large population of poor people, and that is a time bomb that we are sitting on. And hence, what we would need to do is continue to build the infrastructure, but also have large leaps like the one that you mentioned in every sector that we're talking about, which includes not just industry, but even food. And by food, I don't mean agriculture, but we need to start producing food in factories. I've mentioned that multiple times with climate change coming in. That's going to be a big disruption. We need to have the technologies to build food within factories. And so we need to therefore create technologies which do not exist. And those are the disruptions we need to bring in addition to what we have been doing, which is getting in industries from outside. And even though the geopolitical conversations was anti-India, the money on the table was always being put in for India. So we have had the largest amounts of inbound investments coming in. We have also had the largest amounts of remittances coming in, unprecedented in any other part of the world at any other point in time. And those have been very good, beginnings. We need to continue to do that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, with a little weakened political system, the faith might be little, questioned as we move forward, and that's a dangerous trend that might come in. Because already we have if you look at the global narration that seems to be fairly anti-India, it seems to be unbalanced, and along with it, if there is a sniff that there is a bit of a political instability, then we will run into a challenging time because we don't have any time to lose right now. I think even in the case of the Tata Motors building the plant, many of the farmers were actually gaining. And that farmland never got reverted, so they are in a limbo. And they were able to, if the factory had come up there, they could have actually targeted the southeastern market, which is a prime market for two-wheelers, and they could have got upgraded to four-wheelers. So what have we got right is the decisiveness and the ability to communicate that what's coming up is good for the people. And second, the appropriate compensation. And that has been happening through and through. It's not just for the central government projects. If you look at the pattern, even in the state government projects, many of the state government projects that has happened, let's say even in UP for that matter, the land has been taken and compensation has been given then and there by empowered officials standing on the road. And so it's not just the correct amount of compensation, but also at the right time, not after 2 months, 5 months, but immediately on the road. So that has given the assurance to people that they're going to gain out of it. Second, by building road, whatever land is left back, the value of that land goes up. Unlike some other infrastructure like railways, because the railway line just passes through the land, it doesn't really add value to the land around it. So you'll see that there is little resistance to land being taken for roadways per se because of the nature of the infrastructure and then the way it has been executed. Also, I think there has been an all-round support from the nation per se, because people understand that what's holding us back has been the lack of infrastructure, primarily roads and everything else also, it is airports and ports, but roads has been something that has been visible. It's not that all the farmers are opposed to it. We have had debates on your channel, on your show, where it was clear that it was a segment of North Indian farmers who are benefiting, who are benefiting from the existing system, which was basically based on taxpayers and not really, letting the farmers be free to experiment to come out with new crops. Also, that's a system that's shooting up the price of farmland. And therefore, you will see in places like Punjab, because the cost of land is high, industry is not setting things up. If industry doesn't set up their factories, then how will you suck out labor from agriculture into industries? So it becomes a vicious cycle. You are, because of the subsidies and the structure of agriculture that we have set up, people are stuck in it. Land prices have gone up. It's easy money coming to big farmers. Small farmers and laborers are still suffering. And because of that, industry is not coming up.
Okay.
We have had debates where how do we double the income of farmers on this on your channel.
Yes.
And the issue has been the only way to double the income of farmers without leading to food inflation is to half the number of farmers. We can't have 60% of the population doing farming. That is just not sustainable anywhere in the world, be it developed or developing. One of the things that I've been saying in every single platform and that concerns me very deeply is neither the ruling party nor the opposition is taking up certain very critical issues such as pollution to begin with. The pollution was a non-election issue.
Yeah.
It's impacting everybody, 100% of the population. So the population doesn't care that there is pollution and therefore our voting pattern did not change. Climate change, it's on us. We know that. We've seen it. And for the last 3 years, I've been saying that every budget, there should be budgeting for a post-climate change scenario where we need increased number of silos to store food grains. Our target should be to have food grains for 4 years and not 2 years, and reevaluate the entire food security, energy security, ensure that there is ability to manage floods in large cities, and so on and so forth. So I think that's one big or two big areas, which is pollution and climate change. I would like to see more work to be done. In fact, one of your questions to the panelists was that what are the issues that the opposition should be taking? These are the kind of issues that opposition should take rather than winking in the parliament and making snide remarks. If the ruling party is missing out in certain large issues, the opposition should be taking these up.
Okay.
Also, the fact that we still need a faster and faster economic growth with stability for those who are falling behind, and therefore a stronger support system for the vulnerable sections while the rest of the economy. So, as we all know, Punjab was and continues to be an agrarian economy. There's been no agrarian economy that has become, large based on agriculture. There is a shift in the economic structure of Punjab that is needed. I think that those are things that everybody knows. So I'm just repeating something that everybody knows. And therefore, the primary question is, how do we bring in that shift? For the shift to happen, we need capital to move into Punjab, for which we need land to move into Punjab. We also need skills to move into Punjab. What is happening is that anybody who's getting skilled in Punjab is actually moving out of Punjab. So we need to hold them back while they are skilled, which also needs, good cities to be in Punjab and rest of the country for that matter. But let's just stick to Punjab for a moment. So is there a quality of life in Punjab the same as quality of life in Canada? And that's the place that many of the Punjabis end up going.
Yeah.
So even if it's not the same, can it be at least 20%, 30% of what it is elsewhere? And therefore, it's a combination of lifestyle, getting the human skills in place, moving the capital into Punjab, getting land for the industries, and therefore making a comprehensive regulatory ecosystem that encourages all of this to happen in tandem, step by step.
Okay.
Now, what is happening is that people are trying to boil the ocean and cater to those who are already entrenched in certain economies, which is basically the agrarian economy, and therefore nothing is moving forward in that sense.